Hello everyone, it's Professor Inelson 5 back here. This time round, I'm just going to give a little bit of what's to come, my predictions as to this Thursday's Bushiroad presentation stream. So of course, tonight, by the time I'm recording this, is like in Tuesday, so which is the time when the Regalis pieces for both Liaonon and Bushiroad has come out. So I'm gonna go through the Bushiroad stuff later on. So stay tuned for that video to come. So probably just to give a little bit of a quick guide on how to cook Bushiroad. So that's about that for the time being. But the purpose of me trying to make this video actually is trying to give a little bit of what is going to be potentially we are going to see in terms of product wise, in terms of anime wise, or the ban list wise in the next three months, and the years and the year to come. So yes, so before we continue, this is a word from the sponsor. This video is sponsored by MyMetalCards at Etsy.com, which they are a shop that specializes in creating, hence the name, metal cards, right? So they have plenty of variety of designs, cool, awesome designs that you can choose from, ranging not only from cards like Vanguard, but also from other games such as MTG, Flesh and Blood, and also Gundam, if I'm not mistaken at this point. So plenty of choices. And for example, on my end, I have the Gear Chronicle clan emblem right here, and I also have the black and white Chronojet energy counter, which is metallic, which is hard, and also quite sharp as well. So which is cool. And the best part about it is that it's not only limited to only this kind of cards, but it's also have crest, power counters, energy generators, and so forth, right? So plenty of things that you can choose from. There's even transparent acrylic ones if you wanted to. And also, you can use my promo code at checkout by using the promo code ENOCHSAYS, so ENOCHSAYS. You will get $5 off on your first purchase. And also, just to keep in mind that these metal cards are not official, but they are great for casual use. You can do it as some sort of a deck divider, or you can use it for personal collection as well. That would be nice in this way. So that's about it. Use my promo code and check out the store as well. That is MyMetalCards at Etsy.com. Link in the description. And that's about it. We move on to the video. Right, so just a bit of a quick info. So this Thursday, which is the 27th of March, we will have a Bushiroad presentation stream, and around here in Malaysia time is 1 PM, but in Japan it's 1400 hours, which is of course 2 PM. So just convert to your own time zones, depending on where you guys watching this. So here are some of my predictions, let's just put it that way, on what I'm going to expect and what not to expect, I guess. So yes, before we begin, where to start? Okay, now let's go over for the first prediction first. So first off being is the Divine anime season 4 reviews, or some sort of a sneak peek. Even if we don't have I would say we will have an info on it. Maybe it could be a new character, maybe it could be a poster or something along those lines, or character introductions, who knows, right? Then I would say probably we are going to get Divine season 4 reviews and something to those effect. So probably it's going to be a high probability and high chances that we might see it, considering how the anime is gonna end in another 3 or 4 more episodes, if I'm not mistaken. I think 3 more episodes. So that's about my predictions as to so far. We might get the things that I've mentioned earlier. That is for the anime wise. I don't think there's anything other than anything related to the anime besides that, or it could be a spin-off or something, but I don't think that's the case. I would say that's highly impossible, but would say that season Divines for season 4 reviews could be coming out. That's one of my first predictions. Number 2, I would say in terms of a product wise or something along those lines, we could be getting set 10 review. It could be the poster, or it could be something in regards to that effect. It could be probably mostly going to be revealing like new vanguards or like new right lines or something along those lines. So if there's something related to that, set 10 might probably have to fall around like sometime in July or August if our predictions is technically correct, or something along the timelines. But we also have to take into account the idea that we might have a lyrical booster, like lyrical set 6 or something like that, booster along the way. So probably it could be after festival collection this year, 2025, or probably my prediction could be that we might get a lyrical product that is going to be at the end of the year, because I would figure out because of dress up. It's because like we might get a dress up upgrade for Fennel, for Shiana, and also for Charmant. Probably not Halloween related theme, but it would be cool if Bushiroad decided to go for the idea of like, okay, let's go for a Christmas route theme, because honestly speaking, they have done a lot of like very interesting themes when it comes to that lyrical booster previously, which they did with the Trick or Treat, which is based on the Halloween. We have the Sparkling Stars, which is technically not really related to any known festivities that I can tell, but could be related to something like summer festivals or something along those lines. Like that could be the one thing for sure. Prior to that, I remember the festival. I'm not sure it's like festival collection or something. Or like, yeah, I think it's like festival collection 2023 or 2024. Probably 2023, right? I'm not sure. 23, right? Where we have the dress up for Clarissa and Felty Rosa and all those. Those are based on Easter theme. So I'm not sure this time around if they're going to do a Christmas theme or. Hear me out, guys. Okay, Bushiroad might do something to effect of like lyrical strike deck sets, right? Whether or not it's Tirua, whether or not it's Loris, it's still up for debate. It's still up for speculation. But I have a feeling that we might get something to the effect of having a lyrical strike deck set, right? So lyrical mains, prepare your money for that, or like Bermuda Triangle mains. Have to look forward to that. And something that I also want to look forward to, because even though I'm not actually like a Bermuda player, I am most of really enjoyed looking at encounter, like how Bushiroad does encounter cards, especially with strike deck sets, right? Especially when you can use cards from the old G era, like Shiranui, like Buat, like Chronon Jet, and Messiah and all that, and repurpose it into a modern day like D standard strike deck sets is pretty cool. So most likely we are probably going to get Tirua, because like Tirua is actually like what do you call that, TD card, while Loris is not. But Loris did not appear in V series, which of course a lot of people complain like why Loris isn't out when majority of almost all of the bosses in G era has already appeared in V in some way or another. So of course we have to bear into account that like the worst case scenario for lyrical is going to be Tirua, right? Because it's easier, it's accessible to most players, to like getting a TD, because like you can just buy the TD from the old era and then just repurpose it and then just reuse it in the D standard, right? That's for the lyrical side of things. Now sets. Okay, now I did mention something about set 10 just now. Not sure. Yeah. Okay. Right. Moving on. Now encounter cards. Okay. Now encounter. I have a feeling. Either this time round, because like what we have seen so far is that Platina Ezo has already come out in one of the reviews as one of the encounters that has coming out in this particular I wouldn't say like collab set, it's more like the CCE or the what you call that, the Encounter Cray Lore booster set. Most likely, the only thing that I can only think of when it comes to like encounter wise, and it's noticeable because Brungate was not reviewed as one of the earlier stages of the info that we have gotten like last 2 weeks or like last week, I'm not mistaken, is that we are possibly going to get a Daikaiser. They might get a Daikaiser as an encounter. Reasons being, I have a feeling that it's been almost a year since the Dayusha set is coming out, but whether or not it's going to come out this fast, I'm not sure. But high likely chance it will, because of the name of the booster set, which is Choyu Bakuretsu, if I pronounce my kanji right. So when I look at these 4 kanjis, it kind of reminds me of like the theme and the aesthetics and the right chants that Kenji actually screamed in like back in the OG days of Vanguard, and also like the aesthetics of Brave, or like, you know, Dayusha, you know, because they use probably like something around of like bravery or courage. So Daikaiser could be the most likelihood that we might get the encounter for this one. But if those of you who are still like speculating, I would say like you can speculate anything else. You can speculate like an Ethics Buster or like something along those lines. Sure, go ahead. But for majority of us who already speculated this earlier, not gonna lie, we probably felt like Daikaiser is gonna come in a mile away. So yes, Daikaiser fans is going to rejoice a lot. I can imagine probably like the joyous face of Chris different fight when he actually like Daikaiser is actually revealed. So we have to see his reaction later on. That will be really funny. That's one thing for sure. Okay, so the next one I would say like the in terms of like product wise is that we might get a Token Ranbu related collabs. It's just one thing for sure. I've mentioned this earlier this year in one of my videos where Bushiroad shouldn't really waste too much of their resources on making an IP, like a lot of multiple IPs, and not work around it afterwards. So hopefully this time around in the middle of the year or something along those along these lines or so, we might get something to like a Token Ranbu support, or like say a Shaman King support, Records of Ragnarok support that uses Energy Blast, right? So it's something that I really want Bushiroad to try to rectify, like this kind of like supports, because you've been releasing them non-stop, or like just release them as a one-off but never touch on it again. So of course Token Ranbu did get another second wave of booster, so hopefully this time around they might try to change their mind and say that instead of just doing another Token Ranbu, we might have to push out another special set just for Records of Ragnarok, or like Shaman King, or something along those lines, So hopefully this time around they can try to like give more support to these kind of like IPs, which I hope they will. So number 5. Okay, well technically it's number 6 on my agenda. So number 6 is probably, I would say, like, is premium support. Now, I know for most of us thinking that like premium, like Bushiroad in the JP format usually will not really touch on like a lot of like premium related stuff. The best which they can do is just doing that kind of like seasonal, or like the bi-monthly, the V era promos, where like you can just you could be calling a G Guardians or those rank fixes. Those are actually really good, but not sure, like they might want to do like explicitly another product or wave dedicated to do like premium support, right? So what I mean here by that is that we will finally get another premium related support, which we have a new Strides, or like a new Vanguards, or like new supports for like any other existing decks. If not, then probably I would say they could do something like last year. I think last year of the premium deck sets for Jewel Knights, Revengers, and Musketeer. So this time around, maybe this year, they might do something like akin to like Eradicators, Liberators, or something along those lines, right? So if they do something like that, I would. It's still a support. It's still like it's still a premium support-ish. So if you really want to push like players to try to like at least try premium, or like make the I would say like premium a little bit more flourish the scene of premium even more, then definitely they could really try to do like those kind of like premium deck sets for Axel clans, because last year we have Force. Maybe this year they'll do Protect, or maybe they'll do Axel, right? So who knows, right? Hopefully we have premium support, because premium in majority of the time, it's not definitely going to be. It's just a little bit too boring for my taste right now, because like I've tried premium for quite a few months now, and honestly speaking, like they really need something that can change like the dynamics of how the game is run, besides like the V era, like, or like those like new cards that was provided like a few months back, right? With the G Guardian collars, or like those kind of like right fixers, those are good. I'm not sure like how they want to like change the trajectory of like the format in general as in whole, right? So hopefully they will try something to fix that, right? The next one we have like this is going to be related to set 10 actually, so I just gonna have to do a little bit of jumping around. They might do a little bit of an arcade collab, okay, in set 10, so they could do something. The most common arcade game, like arcade games that could be potentially getting collab this time around, is either Animal Kaiser or Dinosaur King. Now the reason why I want to put it that way is because like if you were putting in Dinosaur King, if they really wanted to do like something along those lines of like doing another arcade collab, which they did it before with Mushi King and also Love and Berry, so this time around maybe they would like to do something akin to like Dinosaur King or Animal Kaiser. Now for Animal Kaiser, it would be more make sense if you would put it in Stoichia, but precisely I would not think so, because I have a feeling that they could do this every year with like some of the arcade games and like the collabs and all that, but I have a feeling that they might direct it in a way that like one nation will do like one specific collab. So for example, Mushi King is in Stoichia, and of course not Animal Kaiser, like Love and Berry is in Cactus Sanctuary. Although to be fair, I prefer if Love and Berry was in Lyrical, because the aesthetics and theme wise it makes sense for them to be in Lyrical, but I don't understand why they put it in Cactus, right? So could be this time round, if they want to do something like say Dinosaur King, it will probably make sense for them to like put it in Dragon Empire, or like I think that Dragon Empire is the only thing that makes sense, because dinosaurs exist in Dragon Empire, so that's about it, right? So yeah, that could be my speculation or like my predictions so far in terms of like product wise for Vanguard for the next few months and this entire year. So we have to look forward to that to see what Bushiroad is revealed this Thursday. Now, and the next thing I would say, like I would probably want to predict, is on a few major things. Number one, when it comes to like the idea of ban list, okay, now ban list is very important. The first one I would say is Salgaon. Salgaon probably needs to get hit in a way that is going to be healthy, and in a way that is like very healthy for the format as a whole. Whether or not you want to limit Salgaon to one copy, outright ban Salgaon, or choice restrict Salgaon in either Rezael and Luwad, they have to do something with Salgaon, because at this point I'm really disgusted with Salgaon at this point, so they need to have to hit Salgaon somehow. Not sure how, but maybe not in premium. Let's just put it that way, right? Like if you're going to be like if you're going to be very charitable enough, then maybe just don't restrict Salgaon in premium, and maybe just like restrict it in the D format or something like that in standard, right? Second of all is I felt like this is probably unlikely, but in the high likelihood there's gonna be emergency Bava Sagra ban list. Now, of course, Bava Sagra has been popping so much lately in a lot of tournaments, mostly because of, you can see like WGP Nagoya, where they have like 19 Bava Sagras in top 32, 20% usage rate if I'm not mistaken in the WGP Nagoya, actually very scary. So not sure if Bushiroad decided to do an emergency Bava Sagra ban list for the next 3 months, see how things go. They could either like restrict Cindy, they could restrict Wellord, or like they could like choice restriction over trigger or something like that. We don't know. Alright, so So it could be that Baba Sagra might get a hit, but we don't know yet, considering how Baba Sagra is actually a new Vanguard in this particular new set, in this new cycle of meta. We have to see if this is going to be the case, but if not, then I will gladly say like, okay, just let the Baba Sagra meta continues. But because we have Youth Perk incoming, so maybe Youth Perk could counter Baba Sagra in ways more than one, or maybe like waiting for the new future support for, or like new Vanguards that could probably counter Baba Sagra in a lot of ways. So maybe they will not do that. So that's about for what I felt like about an emergency Baba Sagra ban list. Number 3, this is something that I've really wanted to touch. Bushiroad has been I really want them to touch actually. They really need to focus and emphasize on the idea of like the ban list in Premium and V Premium. The reason why I want to put it this way is because I've seen a lot of content creators so far that has argued for an idea that we should not run Strike Deck Set Crest in Premium. So for example, Chronojet Crest, Luwak Crest, Shiranui Crest, yada yada, right? Or Hari Crest, or Night Rose Crest. Like you get the idea, right? They kind of argued that because flipping the G zone and because like the idea of like Premium has so many G zones which you can open like endlessly, and it's just basically like power creep to the max. I've seen that how those arguments could potentially be considered in ways that like you want to make Premium healthy, you want to make Premium competitive, then I can understand and I agree as to why like those kind of crests in the current Strike Deck sets that we are getting should not be used. Either you have to use it, or like just play like one, either like outright ban the crest, or like just play at one copy of the crest searcher, or like the crest rider or something like that, or right fixers or something along those lines. So I could maybe Bushiroad really wanted to try to address this if this is the case. Now of course I also have to understand as a matter of fact that because like Premium is more competitive in the English scene, maybe this would not be very applicable to the idea of like in the Japanese format, but in the English format, if they really want to do something along those lines, then feel free to go ahead. Otherwise, Bushiroad should really try to like address like if there's anything that needs to be addressed in terms of like a Premium formats in the JP context, right? This is going to be very important. But also the idea of why V Premium is also like very important to be considered, because V Premium is technically what I believe to be a rather dead format at this point. So if they don't want to touch on the idea of V Premium, they could just say like, let's get rid of V Premium altogether. There could be a major announcement as well. There could be a high chance of possibility, and just made it like, so from here on out we only have two major formats, is Premium and Standard, right? So this is going to be like something like expanded and standard in Pokemon, in terms of like Pokemon context. So you can either play expanded or, well, technically speaking, like Pokemon has unlimited, expanded, and standard, but we don't touch on unlimited so far because unlimited, there is like a format or player base that dedicates the entirety of the gameplay into unlimited. But I digress. That's not the point. The point being for me is that like if Bushiroad doesn't really want to consider the V Premium as some sort of like their as a format moving forward, then they could just get rid of everything in V format and try to like probably unrestrict everything in V format and just reintroduce the whole ban list in Premium, and then from there in the Premium format you would line out what's the ban list like, right? So for example, you can play 4 Aglobels, you can play back 4 Percivals, like V Percivals and V Aglobels, something akin to those effect. So that's my examples of like how they want to like say like edit their ban list in one way more than one. So hopefully they can try to address this issue as soon as possible, because I really I really enjoyed playing V Premier for quite some time, but of course, like, I haven't been touching them since. But then again, like, if they are not going to touch so much on it, might as well just move on to Premium and just call it a day, right? The next, but last but not least, is something to akin to Levidras and Rezael ban list. Now, of course, Rezael ban list has always have to something to do with Selgaon, most likely. So probably I'm not gonna touch too much on Rezael, mostly because there's a lot of like mostly the biggest problem is because there's like Kadewala, Liberis, and Salgaon, but I don't think that's the case. I would be very surprised if they really wanted to restrict or ban Catapult. That's the most shocking part if they were to have to do that. That's one thing for sure. But Levidras is a little bit iffy on my end because right now it is true that Levidras is too strong, but it's also true at the same time that Levidras is not topping as much in terms of like JP format as of late. So whether or not they wanted to touch on the ban list on Levidras or Rezael could be also have to do it like concurrently if Baba Sagra might get hit. Otherwise, if Levidras and Rezael is gonna get hit but Baba Sagra doesn't, it's going to be very one-sided. It's gonna be like a very Baba Sagra dominated format. Otherwise, it's going to be you either hit buff but don't hit Levidras and Rezael, then things could be a little bit balanced, or just hit all three at once. Or something along those effects, and maybe just move on from there and see how the meta goes for the next 3 months, right? So I think that's about it. If there's anything that you might want to expect, what to look forward to in terms of like what's the predictions, like what's your guys' predictions on in terms of the format, or not the format, or the game itself, feel free in the comment section down below. Now, I know that there's a lot of people just to try to make their bingo cards, but of course for me, I don't really trust bingo cards because we never, in my own experience, I've never hit bingo cards I've never hit a bingo before. So like in whether or not it's from like different fight server or it's like my own speculations, it just barely misses the mark to hit a bingo. So I would say like I'm not gonna do bingo cards. This time around, I'm just going to do it in a way that I felt like it's more plausible and more high chance of possibility that these things might happen. So that's about it, right? So I'm gonna stop this video right here right now. So thank you guys for watching. If anything, I'll see you guys in the next video. This is going to be something related to Bushiroad. So that's about it. So yeah, this has been Professor Enoch 095 signing out.